to Sunny Day Stamping. I'm Julie Baca. Sign up for my weekly email to get free project sheets and updates on sales. Today's card is so fun. I just love that it's a pocket card. So I'm going to show you how to make this envelope and this cute little pull out card. Plus, I'll show you how to use all the scraps of your paper to even decorate your envelope. I've got lots of tips and tricks along the way. So let's get started. I want to show you a close-up of this card. You guys know I just love all little details in cards, just make me so happy. The pretty little ribbon, even this is a scrap of paper that I'll show you how we're going to use. And then because we're using double-sided paper, the inside matches the envelope. So we're going to be using Stampin' Up's beautiful designer series paper. These are huge 12 by 12 sheets of paper that are double-sided, and they're such high quality. This is not as thick as their cardstock, but it is thicker than other double-sided papers I've purchased before. They also match the Pansy Patch stamp and die set. These dies will actually cut out the pansies in this paper if you don't like to fussy cut. So anyway, these are actually retiring, and I hope they are still available when this video comes out to you. Now the Pansy Patch stamp and die set is going to carry over to the next catalog that comes out in May 2022. But if you like this set, purchase it now because you'll get that bundle pricing that is going to disappear in the next catalog. You have to buy them separately after that. Now, if you don't have this paper, don't worry. You can still make this card. You're going to just choose any designer series paper, and then on the back, it'll tell you what colors work with your paper. So for the card I'm going to show you, we're going to use Pale Papaya, and then these colors of inks. I've got more to show you at the end, more variations and ideas for you to use. So you're just going to pick a piece of colored cardstock that matches your paper, and you're going to cut this to 4 by 5 3/8, and a piece of white by 4 7/8 by 3.5. All of the measurements for making that card are over on my website, sunnydaystamping.com. Now, if you'd like to have all of the measurements and list of supplies all on one sheet of paper, I send these out to my email subscribers, so you can sign up for that. I've got a link down below in the description. Now, if you're one of my email subscribers and you have a past project that you'd like the project sheet for, just email me and I'd be glad to send it to you. So we're going to start by making the pocket. So grab your paper trimmer, and instead of me just spouting off a bunch of measurements, I'm going to show you how to do this because I've got some tips on how to make it really simple. Now, my first tip is you want to decide on the direction of the design in your paper, because that's actually going to need to be horizontal, so that when you fold your pocket together, the direction of your design is going up and down. And what we're going to do is we're going to just slice this in half. Now this is 12-inch paper, and on my paper trimmer, this line that I'm butting this up against is 6 inches. Wow, okay, here's one thing. For your paper trimmer, they designed this so that you can remove these and buy extras so that your blades are always sharp. But this was not seated in here very well. Oh, you can't even see what I'm doing. So down here at the bottom of your paper trimmer is a little place that is just a little wider so that you can put in your blades. All right, let's try that again. So, oh no, now this is all jaggedy. All right, here we go. We're going to cut this in half. There we go. You can put this aside and make another pocket some other time. Now you're going to open up your paper trimmer, extend that arm, because we're going to cut this 12 by 6 inch piece of paper down to 9 inches. So I'm going to line this up here, butt this up right against the top lip there so that your paper is nice and straight. And you're going to cut this. Now, this is for the pocket, and this we're going to use to decorate the envelope. I'm also going to cut just a little 1/2-inch strip off of this piece, because I'm going to use this to decorate part of my card, because I only need, let's see, what is this? I only need 2.5 inches to decorate the flap of this envelope here. So I'm going to set these aside for later. Now take your parts for your piece for the envelope, and we're going to do some scoring. So you're going to want to make sure that your cutting blade is up here at the top so you don't accidentally cut your paper. And you're going to line this up at 6 3/4 and take your scoring blade here and score that just lightly. I'm not pressing very hard. Now I'm going to go to the 2.5 inch mark and score there. Make sure that blade's at the top. There we go. Now we're going to rotate this and we're going to score this 1/2 inch all along the bottom. I forgot to mention this. This is one thing I love about this paper trimmer. There's a 1/2 inch mark here and here. So like this is a little inconvenient because I can't really hold onto the paper and I'm afraid it won't be straight. So I can line it up on this side too. And these lines go all the way down so I can ensure that this is nice and straight. All right, now keep your hand firm here, holding this in place, and we're actually going to cut out the part for our pocket. So I shouldn't have chosen such a busy design to show you this, but I can see, and you'll be able to see, the score lines where I scored. And so what we're going to do is we're going to close this. You're now going to take your cutting blade and you're going to drag it down until it's in line with that fold mark that you have. You're going to line up this little guideline there so that this part will be eventually cut off for our pocket. We're going to go down to the bottom and do the same thing. Now, I find that easier, but you may want to just use some scissors. So now what we want to do is cut off these pieces here to make a bottom flap for our pocket. So you're going to grab your scissors and you're just gonna, I mean, you can measure this if you want, 1/4 inch in, but I'm just going to snip it like this, lining it up with the score line here. I know, these are I can't find my paper snips. I'm so frustrated, and I wanted to blame it on my kids, but I know it's my fault for losing those. All right, now you have these 2 little pieces of scrap, which you could use to decorate your card. So you can set those aside. I don't think I'm going to do it on this example, but I'll show you. Well, in this example, that's exactly what I did. I used that little piece of scrap to just make a decoration for the front. All right, now you're going to take your envelope, and you guys are not going to be able to see this very well, but there are the score lines that we made. So we're going to fold these in. Oh man, I'm bumping everywhere. Okay, we're going to fold this in along that score line and just press that down. Do the same thing here. And you want a nice crease, so use a bone folder for that. Now, you can see that there is a wide side and a narrow side. So the wide side goes down and the narrow side goes on top. And this is going to put your line right in the center of your pocket. I've seen these done online before, and they just flap these over so the line is over here. I wanted mine to be in the center. I don't know. I'm not picky about some things, but some things I am. I don't know. I wanted this to be in the center. So now you're going to fold up your bottom flap, and you're going to make sure that it's not poofy here before you go glue it down. Now that's a little poofy for me. So all that means is that we just need to trim a little off this bottom edge. Remember, and stopping here at that fold line. And it doesn't matter if this is straight because your bottom flap is going to cover up any jaggedy edges. All right, so now you're going to glue this together. So you're going to make sure the wider flap goes down first, and you're just going to put a little strip of glue along that edge. And then you're going to put a little strip of glue along the inside of the narrow edge, the narrow side, and then press this down. You want to make sure this is nice and straight. You don't want those overlapping. So before you press down, make sure those are straight. Then add some glue to your bottom flap. There you go. Now I added a thumb notch for mine. So if you have a circle punch, you could also lay a circle die on top and cut it out. Now I'm going to use my ice cream cone builder punch because that's all I have. I don't have a circle punch. So I'm going to do this, and I'm just lining up the center of my card in the center of this punch. There we go. Now we're going to set this pocket aside and do some decorating of the card. And I'm going to readjust this camera because this is making me nuts. So you can grab your colored piece of cardstock and we're going to stamp on this white. You want to grab that little strip. If you cut a little strip off of your envelope decoration flap, grab that too. So what we're going to do is decorate the inside, and I'll show you what I want to do is when I put this together, I want to use this scrap along the bottom and have my flower kind of coming out of there. So now you're going to want to just determine where you want your stamp. So I'm going to end up putting mine right there. So grab whatever stamp set you're going to use. I'm obviously using the pansy petals because I want it to kind of match my paper. And I'm going to stamp this off the paper a little bit just to make it interesting. And I'm going to use this inside here. I'm going to stamp it off first. But then I'm going to use this other inside part, but I'm going to use it full strength. And I messed that up. Let's see if I can line that up. Ooh, I'm not sure if I like that. I'm going to do this again. There's another side to the paper, which is wonderful. All right, now what my problem was is my stamp block was not completely flat when I stamped that. I kind of stamped it at an angle, so it turned out poorly. All right, the other piece is this little tiny dot. You can add just a little blast of color right in the middle. That, I feel like this is a little triangle thing and I did it the wrong direction, so we'll do it like that. There we go. Now, if you have a hard time like figuring out what kind of design to put on your card, use your designer series paper to kind of give you some ideas. So I kind of took this pansy and did the colors from that card, and I've got some examples later that I'll show you too, where I took the idea right off the paper. Now I'm going to take the stem and ink it up in Evening Evergreen. Now when I do my stem, I'm going to try to determine, I want this piece here. Oh no, I put that flower way too high. Look at that, because I didn't want my flower floating all over the place. All right, let's see. Maybe this one was better. Let's see. Nope, I totally did this wrong. All right, I got to cut a new piece of paper now. All right, here I go again, and I'm actually going to keep this here so I know the placement of this flower, making sure my stem is going to be long enough. So I got to bring this puppy down. Okay, here is where I want to be real careful that you can see that my stem will extend past this piece of colored paper that I'm going to put on there. So now when I lay my stem down, I don't just stamp it directly. I actually rock it down. So I put the tip up by the flower and then I rock this down. I don't know. I just find that way easier to do. Yay! That's what I wanted. All right, then we're going to take a sentiment out of this stamp set. Oh, I want to show you guys this. I love this stamp set. It's got such great things to say. There's also big flowers and small flowers. There's actually another part to this we could have stamped on there to give it a little more dimension, but I wanted to keep it quick. So now we're going to ink this up and kind of put it right in the middle. I could center my paper and use this line to center my sentiment. Oh, see, that's awesome. Okay, great. Now we'll take some glue and we're going to glue this little strip on here. And one tip for doing this, because this is so long, I'm going to have to cut it, but I don't want to get glue on my scissors when I cut this, is I'm going to just put glue right here. You can see that this is where my paper is going to end. Then we're going to put this on here, covering up that stem and just doing a little white there at the bottom. You could also put it all the way on the bottom. I'll show you some examples at the end. Where did my scissors go? I can't lose those big ones. All right, here we go. Now to trim this, I don't know, for some reason I like to flip this over. Oh, look, I used this paper before too. There we go. Now this will go onto here, but first we're going to add our ribbon so that our paper will hold our ribbon in place real good. So I'm going to be using this fine art ribbon. Now this is also discontinuing, so you can get a good deal on this right now, as well as that pansy paper. That is also on sale right now. But it's like while supplies last, so get it. I hope it's still available. Okay, so all you need is just a little 3-inch piece of this. You're also going to want to grab some Scotch tape. Okay, so you're going to line up your paper on your grid paper. And if you don't have grid paper, you can just eyeball it, or you could mark where the center is. Oh no, you don't want to do that because you'll see it. Oh, maybe you can. So this paper is 4 inches, so the middle is 2, and we're gonna fold over our ribbon, and we're gonna place this on the 2-inch mark, right? But when I put this on here, see, this is gonna go underneath. I wanna make sure when this is centered that I can't see the tape that's gonna tape this down. So that is gonna be, I wanna make sure my tape and my ends of my ribbon extend past that 1/4 inch mark on my paper here. Can you guys even see what I'm doing down here in the corner of this camera? Now, my other tip is to reduce the bulk. We're going to actually separate these ribbons so they are not overlapping. Okay, so you're going to grab it like this, line it up on that 2-inch mark, hold it down here with your finger, and make sure that's extended. Now grab your Scotch tape, and you're just going to tape it in place. Now, before you move, you can double check that when this piece is centered on here, that everything will be covered, and it will be. Now we're going to glue this in place. But if I glued it like this, you can see when I pulled it out of my envelope, it would be upside down, which no bueno. So we're going to just double check that when you pull this out, that it's going to look like you want it to look. Now that little bit of tape and this extra glue is going to hold that ribbon right where it needs to be. Look at that. Now I'm going to add a sentiment to the front of this. This is totally optional, but you can grab a little scrap of paper, choose a sentiment out of your stamp set. I'm going to do this thank you. Now here, instead of measuring this out, I'm just going to stamp right on this scrap, and I'm going to cut it afterwards. So I'm going to kind of stamp close to the bottom. All right, so now I'm going to just really eyeball that width between that U and just see if I can kind of get it about right. And I can always retrim it. That looks about right. I'm going to try to, just eyeball the distance between this edge and the words and make sure it's equidistant on this side. So now we'll put this on our pocket and determine, is that too big? I think it's a little too big, so I'm just going to cut it down a little bit. I love this trimmer. Like, you can cut these like little tiny strips off. It's fantastic. Okay, and we'll just glue this right on. Now, I mean, if you have a die that would cut this out more fancy, you could totally do that. I was just trying to make this really simple. And I'm going to put this, I'm going to put this off to the right. Oh my goodness, I bumped my camera. I am a mess. All right, I'm going to clean up my workstation and show you all the examples. All right, so here's the pocket that we just made. So cute. I love that this matches the inside. Let me show you how to decorate the envelope. And so I'm actually going to flip this over so that it matches, the inside and everything. So this is so easy. I just love this way of decorating an envelope. So you're going to just take your flap and you're going to put glue, not too much, right along, not on that edge, not on that fold line, but right below it. Just making sure you're getting like the edges that might come up, in the mail. Now you're gonna line up your decorative paper along that fold line. Don't overlap it because you want it to be able to fold, and you're gonna press it down real good. Now this is so quick and easy. You just turn it over and it shows you exactly where to cut it. And honestly, I've accidentally cut into my envelope a couple times and it just doesn't even really matter. So this is so quick and easy. And it makes it look like you have just a full set of stationery because it's all coordinated. So this is the one that I showed you at the beginning, and I used the small pansies from that stamp set for that. Oh yeah, and it comes with this little envelope. So cute, so cute. And this one, I decided not to put any words in the middle. I actually used the thumb notch punch out to decorate the front of that one. So for these next cards, I did not decorate with stamps. I decorated using the paper designs, and I used my dies to cut out the, you can see, I cut out the flowers, and then there's a leaf one for both the shapes of leaves. So I decorated the front with those flowers. This one is just a little more plain, a little more subtle. Oh, I keep forgetting to bring in the envelope. This one I had the envelope just matched completely. Now, all of those examples used that pansy paper, but I wanted to show you what it looks like using other paper. I don't know if you purchased anything during Celebration, but this was the free Celebration paper that I wanted to use up like that. And I used a different stamp set to decorate those. If you liked this video, give me a thumbs up. It really helps me out. If you want to see more of my videos, you can subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button to get notified the next time one of my videos releases. Thank you so much for watching. Have a sunny day.